We used to hear that Nama is the link between us and God. Unless you link yourself with the author of your being, your life is in vain. All these words of Papa we used to hear, but somehow it has not gone deep into it. But of late, we find he has been through his teachings insisting that we should know the purpose of chanting the name. The chanting of the name, somebody used to say, even Holy Mother, Sharadamani Devi, used to say, even if you don't know, when you touch the fire, you get burned, whether you know it or not. But that is okay, nice to hear that. But ours is a concrete proof, you know. We have been chanting, but the real purpose is not known. Some effect is there. Then one fine morning, Papa's words become very clear that chanting is for remembrance. He also made it clear that if this perspective is not there, then we may be chanting for his own words 100 years, but there may not be of much benefit. So then it makes us to start thinking about it. Then suddenly we go back to his own sadhana, because he has placed before us this sadhana, Nam Seva Dhyan. Then through intense reflection on his words, which appeared in his first book, In Quest of God, we find previously we had read it, but we have not taken that into serious consideration. The first chapter, first page. Meditated and chanted. Previously we have read this. We have not applied our mind, or the prompting was not there to apply our mind on those words. Because straight away we started chanting, you know. Then now we feel that his chanting became efficacious because he was meditating upon that reality whose name he was chanting. That means the right concept. கொஞ்சம் இந்த பிறகு அங்கே இருக்கும் அந்த போர்டு பார்க்கறது. No, அங்கே இல்லை. No, you can sit there. I wanted to see that board. There are many who are doing sadhana. They do not know why they are doing. Their conception of God is very limited and narrow. They must have, in the first place, a right conception of God before they try to attain Him. So this became, this throws more light. Unless we have the right concept of whose name we are chanting, probably our speed may not be, our progress may not be impressive. There may be little snail's progress. But this word, comes back again and again. They must have, in the first place, a right conception of God before they try to attain Him, whose name we are chanting. Here again, we heard attributes. And the Papa's attributes, he is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. He is seated in the hearts of us all. Even then we were unable to develop or understand the real meaning behind those words. Again, So slowly the curiosity has been kindled in us. And in one of his talks during his foreign tour, he clarified what is spirituality. There he explains about the spirit. Then he tries to understand how close he is, how eminent he is, that he is the life force. So when we say attribute, why not we develop the words, why not we develop an interpretation of attribute in our own way? So the very fact that now all of us are alive, because of that life principle in us, which is activating the sense organs. That is why these words are coming out, the words are being heard, that power. The beingness in us. It is subjective, absolutely subjective. So when the mind tries to develop a concept, it fails. Because it is not an object. The power because of which these words are now coming out is the very subject. How can the subject know about the subject? It cannot be objectified. This is another struggle all of us are having. The mind used to bring so many concepts. But after some time we feel no, because the subject, because of which even then our seeking is taking place, The power which is motivating us to find an answer cannot be brought under the purview of an object. And why did he do that? Because normally we are all used to this only. First we develop a concept, we try to gather details, we try to go through it intensely, we try to capture some experience. This is how we have in all our activities. Our education, our language, our education, everything, our experiments, our research, everything is based upon plumbing deep into the object. Here, there is no object. So however much we try, we cannot. So that is why Papa used the word meditate and chanted. Even without meditating and chanting, we might get, or we have been getting, some, elevating experience, some blissful glimpses, no doubt about it. But now we should not be satisfied with that, no. Half an hour chanting, 45 minutes chanting, a week's stay in ashram, or 10 days or 15 days in an ashram where we spend a lot of time in chanting. All those things will definitely help. But to know the subject, if our chanting is aimed, if our chanting is directed towards knowing the power behind the chanting, then what happens? So it is a toughest job. So meditating means not bringing as an object, reflecting, mananam. Initially, we can see the outer activities, the heart beats. How does the heart beat? It might help us. When he says stillness, peace, the gap between the two, these are some clues he is giving. I am there. It is not an object. When he used the word great void, when Mataji used to bring out this word Kali Swarup very often. So something approximating, something that gives us a lead towards this subject. So how to make the chanting effective? It is purely a subjective effort. No external factor can help us. This is the blunt truth. So we have to go within. Through chanting of the name, we are trying to see the base, Adhar, support, avalambanam of this chanting. Through the sound, enter into the stillness within us. This much he can help us. What is that? All of us have to struggle. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Now only we realize that there is a gap. Just like we don't recognize the breathing when we are talking, when we are doing. When we exclusively sit and somebody says count 10 times, because there is no other thought, you are only counting. Entire concentration is on the chanting, and then only you become aware that chanting is going on. But the moment you stop it, start talking, start doing, imperceptibly, it goes on. Similarly, the stillness or this base, though it is there, we are not aware. Since it is our basic inherent nature, and because the mind has been outward, in extrovert, right from the moment we get up, the sense organs take us out. Hardly a time is there to find the power behind the sense organs. Seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching. What else? Seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling and touching. These are all the 5 sense organs, organs of perception. That takes us to the sense objects, respective sense objects. And in this, we hardly recognize, we hardly get a prompting to know the power behind the sense organs. So Papa used this technique. Sense organs are trying to dwell on sense objects. With the result, the power behind the sense organ is not recognized. But somewhere intellectually we know that there should be a power. The eyes by itself cannot see, ear by itself cannot hear. So that is why Papa probably used this method of advising us or asking us to concentrate upon the sound first. Objects are there. And then slowly he says, the sound exists in the soundless base. Only that much somebody can tell. So he says that beautifully has put it, when you work it upon, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that you know and realize God. So utterance of God's name is recommended to us, so that ultimately we will know by practice. First, initially we will be chanting while other thoughts are there. Chanting is going on, mind will also be going on. Doesn't matter, let the mind get habituated to it, and then at a certain stage he reminds us this, that the sound can come only from a soundless base. That means through the sound, enter into the stillness within us. That means we try to recognize, just as we try to recognize the breathing, we try to recognize the gap between Om and Shri. Or initially one chanting and other chanting. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Initially we were not even aware that there is a gap. When he says that there is a gap and recommends that mental chanting, probably if we concentrate more and more on the vocal chanting, it may not be that easy. So that is why probably we recommended mental chanting. Because in mental chanting, absolute concentration is required. When we mentally chant, you will find the chances for distraction, chances of the mind going out will be definitely less or zero. So when this mental chanting is developed, then we slowly become aware that chanting itself floats on a base which we cannot explain. It can be broadly said as a stillness. So this is how to make the effective now. Now we try to do this. And in order that our mind is directed toward this, in almost all his writings, whenever he makes a mention about Nama, he insists that we should know that the first thing that we have to understand is God is within me. I am chanting the name of one who is within me. Elsewhere he will say, when somebody says, I have chanted so many, somebody asked him, for 30 years I have been chanting, I am not getting the bliss you are having, which you say that you have done it in 2 years. So Papa there comments, if he thinks that he is doing it, even if he does for 100 years, he will not be able to have this experience. That makes us to think. Unless the sense of individuality recognizes that the sound comes from a soundless base, for that the sound is necessary, then through the sound we get a peep or a glimpse into that stillness. And once we get a taste, then though the mind may not cooperate with us, at least we have got a direct glimpse that he is there within us in the form of stillness. And whenever we try, whether chanting or non-chanting, speaking or non-speaking, thinking or non-thinking, it is there, it is there, it is there. That is why one thought comes, another thought comes, this thought comes, that thought comes. We are talking, we are not talking, we are talking, we are not talking. So how does it come? Slowly we try to become aware of the base within us. And even when the mind interprets that it is going out, it is not going out. Because just because the mind goes out, nothing happens to the stillness within us. These are all called meditation. So when I close my eyes and start chanting mentally, whatever that happens, and try to become aware of the presence, So this effort, if we remember the right word, he said side by side with chanting. Even before he set up his yatra in 1922, December, in one of his writings he has mentioned that he has attained. Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantra, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful, indwelling God, had attained freedom and peace even before his advent into the world as a mendicant. So when a sadhaka struggles, as directed by the intellect, and he finds everywhere in his blind road, no more opening. And when he cries, he is led to the experience of the spiritual preceptor. And then, oh, correct. When he prompted us to take up this project called In Search of Papa, the first quotation that came, it is from letters of Swami Ramdas. Mysterious, how do we know that this is there? But he led us to that particular quotation in letters of Swami Ramdas. And it was a great eye-opener. This is the first slide in the PPT. Now again we will read it out. Now start exploring it, deeper. Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantra. This is intended to arrest the outgoing tendencies of the mind. Okay? Ceaseless. Side by side with the concentrated meditation. What an adjective, no? Not even meditation. Concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful, indwelling God. He was very clear, There is no ambiguity. And the method, he says, so the simultaneously concentrated meditation. Then we compare ourselves. The mind has been trained to chant, and the mind is also, by its nature, goes out. So the chances of meditation or concentrated meditation are very, very rare, difficult. That is why even today, with all this hearing, when we try to chant, this methodology seems to be very, very tough for us. For him, that was in 2 years' time he could do it. We cannot do it. So we have to devise something based upon that. Each one should ask this question: how do I make my chanting effective? Means what? How do I become aware of his presence even which is there behind the chanting? So kindly note down these words. Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantra, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful, indwelling God. All these, attributes the, the beingness, the present, it is not something, he is talking about something later. Eternal means nityam. And when it is devoid of thought, what is mentioned as bliss? Objectless happiness is called bliss. Indwelling God, the form of life force, in the form of awareness, in the form of intelligence. Not because somebody said that in our case, we are hearing, it does not come out of a reflection.
Battery got discharged. Battery may have got discharged.
It does not come out of any thought process. Not battery. Battery is not gone. It is there for 57%. Don't worry.
Then it opened.
No, it's all right. Don't worry.
Oh, it's gone out. That's right.
His intention is to make us more and more intense inward. That is why he did this very question now. The very question he is prompting through his creation, so that we don't go anywhere else except to concentrate on this. Because this is the vital aspect. When we are trying to follow, when we are trying to attain a stage where we become aware of his presence through a spiritual preceptor like Papa, his experience is something on which we have to dwell upon seriously. He has shared all these for our guidance, not to propagate. So that this is how he found it difficult. He was also living like all of us. He was in the midst of all challenges that are normally everyone faces at the family level, professional level, social level. He did not come straight from the sky. For 38 years he was leading any life like anybody else. And then God prompted him to go through a type of experience by which he is made aware of, he is reminded of the purpose for which he has been sent to this world. And then made him to go through the intense thing for the sake of all of us. And not only that he experienced, he made him to record everything. And then placed it in such a way that the sadhakas can easily find guidance from that. Even when after reading it, we may not be able to catch the theme. So again and again, through so many prompting, through so many minds, he keeps on encouraging us to dwell on this aspect. Because ultimately, we have to employ this method. So this one word of his, anybody remembers? Huh? Huh? Everybody is keeping mum.
Concentrated meditation.
Side by side. It is very difficult. The moment I say Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Because our mind has not been trained, to simultaneously dwell. So what should I do? Each one has to try. To us, when we drive the vehicle, each operation is independent. The driving, the steering, the clutches, the gear, the brake, the accelerator, the mirror, the windscreen, each one is cooperating with us to make the vehicle move. Each one is independent. But when I learned driving and when I do the driving, all these things are side by side doing. So what did we do when we tried to learn the driving? What did we do when we tried to learn the cycling? What did we do when we tried to learn the swimming? What did we do when we tried to learn the alphabets or the grammar? What did we do when we tried to master our subjects? Right? So then we become aware it is not impossible for us. Side by side these things can go even while we are living an ordinary life. Automatically the hand goes here, not while driving, the leg goes, all nothing like this. How does the brain guide us, to properly coordinate all the organs, all the outward, what do you call that? Tools, steering, clutch, the accelerator, the gear, the brake, the rear mirror, the windscreen, how to overtake, what is coming back, everything, all without any fuss, without any strain, it goes on simultaneously. So now we understand side by side this can also go. So I did not employ the same method when I was doing all these things to this. So each one tries in his own way. But before we try, our old method comes and takes over, chanting. That is okay. But that is why we said let us not disturb the present pattern of chanting. But at home or in the ashram, when we are alone in the room, we try a method by which this can be tried. In a congregational program, it might not be possible. Because that is for a new beginner and a person who has heard and enjoyed. Beyond that, no. He has not been given the prompting to go deeper into this. He is happy with that experience during the chanting period. He is satisfied. So they are all there in the congregational meet. Different types of people with the different stages in their sadhana. So there we can have only what we are doing now. But for our personal, when we keep on asking ourselves, why is it that you were able to scale in 2 years' time? I have been doing it for 5, 6 decades now, or 20 years, or 30 years, or 40 years. Still, my mind does not say that it has become aware of your presence. Though you are aware, the mind does not make me feel that you are there. In spite of my doing for 20, 30 years, with all my love and faith, with all devotion. So this question has to come back again and again. So how to do that? No, it is not gone. No? Obviously, we don't have to go through like
No,
this.
it's dropping every now and then. I'll bring the other laptop and come. You mic. Bring the other laptop and come.
I think for the next few days, that is on Monday, Wednesday, we will try to explore more and more on this. Not intellectual, that we have tried, So some exercise we will do. Day before yesterday in our satsang here, we tried one method for 15 to 20 minutes. We wrote down understandable attributes, not a tall talk, easily understandable. What all we can bring at the time of chanting. All of you are hearing,
Swamiji.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
No,
Swamiji.
so we will just, so we first say slow chanting, Slow chanting. Everybody join, enthusiastically join. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. God is within me. He is making us to chant. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. God is the seed or source of all creation, including us. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. God is in us in the form of life force, in the form of consciousness, in the form of intelligence. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. God is providing all the basic requirements like 5 elements: the earth, the air, the water, the fire, the space, the sun, metals, minerals, vegetables, fruits, pulses. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. God is providing all creature comforts by prompting his selected human instruments to bring out through discovery, invention and innovation. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. God makes us to handle everything with a touch of love, with a touch of perfection, with a touch of gratitude, with a touch of dedication, because everything owes its existence to Him. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. I am chanting the name of one who teaches that nobody and nothing is irrelevant, unimportant or insignificant, because all have come from Him. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. God is, I am chanting the name of one who is activating all organs of perception and action. 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action. And the mind, as well as the mind, to do their respective functioning. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. I am chanting the name of one who is pulsating the heart to beat, blood to circulate from head to toe, to activate the digestive process and breathing. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. I am chanting the name of one who makes us feel that there is no divide between spiritual and worldly because he is there in everything. He is behind everything. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. I am chanting the name of one who is with us, who has been with us, right from the stage of the seed up to this moment. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Rama. I am chanting the name of one who has given me the sense of individuality, made up of body, mind, intellect. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. I am chanting the name of one who is the owner of everything, including our sense of individuality. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. I am chanting the name of one who is the creator, who is the protector, and who is also the destroyer of the world. Now, the 14 we were able to. We can keep on writing. Now, the suggestion is that anyone, not all these things have to be repeated. 2 or 3 or 5 is more than enough. And then meditate upon it. And try to chant and meditate simultaneously. Because these are not big words. When you say he is behind my thought, word and deed, suddenly even the chanting, when we say he is the life force, we get some idea. So whatever that gives us, throws light on this important subjective subject, that we will make use of it. Because we know that air, the very breathing, the act of seeing, the act of hearing, these are all something directly related to us, So to concentrate upon the realities about which we are relatively aware. Think. Rama. That which we are relatively aware. Now at the moment we know that we are talking. No? Meditating on this means what all factors that make us to bring out this talk. First you need the body, you need the life force, you need the mouth, you need the thought, you need the sound box. How does it come one by one? Who is prompting from within? So an attempt, these are all meditative exercises. Concentrated meditation, we will be slowly led to. It cannot come just like that. So, drawing inspiration from his words, that ceaseless chanting of God's name, side by side with concentrated meditation on the indwelling God, he was able to get stabilized. Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantra, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever blissful, indwelling God, had attained freedom and peace even before the advent into the world as a mendicant. So we take it that 27th December 1922, and up till such time, Victor Rao was leading a normal life, and also he was a sadhaka. But on 27th December 22, the God prompted him to leave everything and start his mission, the mission he is assigned. For that, he immediately made him to go out and feel his presence not only in a particular place or the room, but also everywhere. So before that, the ground has been prepared well for him. That is what he meant. Through chanting. Not merely chanting. Papa will say merely chanting. No. When we look back his life, we find, self-denial, great tapasya, withdrawal from all fields of activities. Mind space is completely made free, In the first chapter, end he will say, the me and mine was receding, What was that word? Everybody has forgotten.
Sense of possession
What
and
is the
sense
use?
of possession and relation.
Sense
Sense of possession and relation.
Sense of possession and relation. At least we don't leave any sense of possession or relation, but at least we should remember his words, So these are all the prerequisites that equipped him to take up this leap, adventurous leap. So the mind was kept empty, vacant, Everything has been taken out. Suddenly he makes us aware the prerequisites are the bondage with the relationship and the possessions. Please think over. With all that, we want him to remember. So that is why we are struggling. In his case, this was his. We were told in the bhajan hall when the devotees, sincere, honest, senior devotees were pressing him to bless him with realization. One day he was prompted to say like this, yes, Ramdas is prepared to give. Who is ready to take? Come forward. Only condition is you have to give up everything. Give up what? Sense of possession and relationship. He did not elaborate. Immediately everybody could understand. Give up everything. Nobody could come forward. Because the preparation has not been done. Again he repeated, he had given the time, 3 minutes. And when the 3 minutes were over, he said the offer is withdrawn. We all enjoy that reading, Hardly we apply our mind on this. What did he mean by giving up? Duck. So unless some preparatory work is done, how can we give up? We are in the midst of so many things, So here come some clues. We cannot straight away do that. And after attaining, possession was not or relationship was not at all a hindrance. Initially, when I feel I am, these things are detrimental. When I feel I am everything, then that possession and relationship is also included. No? You don't feel the otherness. So the topic came that how to make our chanting effective. These are all some of the thoughts he is making us to dwell today. So let us take the hint, as much as possible. In one go, it may not be possible, but a miracle can also happen. No? That also we drew from his life. Till his 38th year, he had no idea about any of these things, from the external point of view. So God is behind everything, but at least he made him unaware of any of these things till he was 38. 1884 he was born, 36, sorry. So 1884 he was born, 16 plus 20, 1920 the turn came. So 36 years, no idea, absolutely no idea. His taste, temperament were totally different. Absolutely not even 1% idea towards the spiritual aspect. But in 2 years' time, just imagine, 2 years' time, we all know when we have a background, our parents would have taught us something, mother or father would have taught us something, we would have developed some faith towards a deity or a guru, we would have attended some satsang, so many things. With all that we are not moving. But in his case, though he had expressed later on that he used to attend bhajans, and his Ishta Devata was Lord Krishna, not anything more than that. He had his own preferences for literature, English literature, poems. Extensively he will quote from various writers, Western. So these are his preferences and priorities. But you see, at the stroke of that particular hour, dropped everything. And even when the missus or the daughter or brothers or even father pressed him or sisters, when he was reducing his food, everybody became panicky. He was attached to his sister. So they thought, if the sister gives, he might. No, he did not. Everybody tried. All brothers and sisters, they were all attached to him very much. Father was attached. Everybody tried, but he was firm like a rock. The 2 years, the preference and priorities got thoroughly shifted to this. So that means the meditation was going on simultaneously with the chanting. Even before his father initiated him with Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, that particular word, comes back to us very often. When father rushed up and asked him, what is happening to you, son? He was able to say, God is making him to repeat his name. When he was chanting Ram, 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 Ram. What a transformation. The handing over had already taken place. Doership has already been handed over. In spite of all these, have we been able to discipline our sense of doership? No? Good, it's a good topic. It might help us in our sadhana. So we'll all pray. From the bottom of our heart, we should pray. Every day we will try to dwell upon some prayer. and then pray to him with that background. Today also we will try with one prayer. Now the prayer and chanting with the attributes we can select. Each one may select, please. It is not copy paste. Our own way of interpreting the attributes. Because then only it becomes mine. If I am repeating Papa's attributes, it is only academic. I am remembering something and I am repeating it. It will not have any deep depth. But when I am applying my mind on that, it will have and bring out a prayer like this. O Lord of the universe, you are verily the Lord of the universe, pulsating, activating, supporting everything. And it is you who have sent me over here to translate your message into reality. I am only carrying out your commands. I beseech you to see to it that no pride or self-esteem enters my heart, no thirst for name or fame creeps into my mind. All the burden and responsibility that you have placed upon me are verily yours. Bless me so that I may carry on your work only as an instrument in your hands, and that I may offer all the fruits of work unto you. Guide me always in the right path. Like a prayer, like this prayer. Any prayer that you come across. Because the prayer helps us to accept, that He is within us. There is a power beyond my. So subservience to a higher power is what is given by a prayer. So we take him. Nobody had to tell that there is God. We ourselves are aware, that is why we are praying. And that prayer is linked to our worldly life. Not tall philosophy. Because that is something which we can easily understand, Pulsating, activating, supporting everything. This is something which we can understand that language. We don't have to borrow anything from anybody. How does the word come out now? How does the hand move now? How do I become aware that I am talking? The pulsating, activating, it is something easily recognizable. So a prayer which we choose, there are so many prayers nowadays we are collecting. With one prayer and with 2 or 3 attributes, we try to take the chanting. Because all other things are not necessary for us, because He has already equipped us with everything. The basic philosophy, the relevance of Nama chanting, the relevance of Seva and Dhyana, all those things are very clear to us intellectually, no doubt. Many of us might be practicing also to some extent. So, but it zeroes to this: I must become one with Him. I must become aware of His presence now and here. This question we keep on, fanning, keeping it aflame, and then carry on with this prayer and this exercise. Individually, not collectively, individually, to 5 to 10 minutes a day. Prayer, vocal chanting, mental chanting, simultaneously training to dwell upon anything that connects us to Him. Every day we will also try to read a few words of Papa, so that there will be variety. We can choose which origin, source, root, the springs of life, Be highly meditative and reflective so that you will move toward the springs of your life. These are all his words. Now we may be able to understand those meaning of those words. Previously we were reading it, enjoying it as a flowery language or the command of his language in English. Most impressive, most attractive, most inspiring, but we stopped with that. It is not going in. But we will also select every day one or two of these quotations, one or two prayers, and then let us all jointly try, because it's a limited audience, and then practice it individually for 5 minutes or 10 minutes as he provides you that motive towards it. Is that all right?
Yes, Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji.
So that it is not merely hearing a satsang.
Yes, Swamiji.
Ah. So every day we will try to do this. Any other topic we can touch, but this is the basic one, no? Everything is slowly boiling down to this. How to make my chanting effective? How do I become aware of his presence now and here? This should galloping, this should get momentum. Every day in our ashram, in the Arati, we are chanting, Huh? Adorable presence, and in our adorable presence also reminds us, but in our Arati, last but one, ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುನ್ನಲ್ಲ ಸದಾ ಸರ್ವದಾ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಉಪಾಸನೇಲ ದೃಢಚಾಲ intensify. Please make me to intensify my sadhana. So nowadays we are trying to, whenever we are there, we try to read the meaning, because when it is rendered in Marathi, many of us may not know at all. We are simply repeating somebody what is printed, we learn by heart and repeat. But now we are trying to understand. Every day I am committing and I am praying to him to intensify my aspiration to feel his presence. Sada Sarvada, that also we say that. And we also pray to him, don't forsake, I am helpless. If you don't step in, then everything will go fat. Please. So this sort of bhavana also will develop. Mataji has done everything for us. The only thing is we have not properly made use of it. And now she is slowly reminding us, it is high time you concentrate upon these aspects so that your spiritual journey gets speeded up. So we will take the maximum benefit out of it from Monday onwards. Every alternative day when we sit, we will try all these. We pray to him to keep the same tempo, not lukewarm. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram,